It is
Just for
episode
professionals.
420 of GI Joburg. And yeah, I'm joined by the usual suspects. Down there is Rob and Steve. And then, of course, myself, Paul. And who's this criminal next to me? This is Cujo. And because Cujo's got something cooked up for this episode, I'm actually going to hand it over to him. Or should I say something rolled up for this episode? So take it away, Cuj.
It's true. I'm not going to go full cliche, guys, but I will run with the format. It is 420 GI Joburg. You probably thought you'd never see this face again. They told you I fell off. I'm sorry to disappoint. Well, they say my tools get rusty. Do these look rusty to you? We're here to talk some green cobras. Has it been done before? I don't think so. You might actually be introduced to some figures you've never seen before. But and I don't want to get too theatrical. It's always an honor to catch up with GI Joburg. And usually I'm not in this seat. Steven, let's go around the horn. How are you doing, brother? How does 420 find you?
Green Cobras? Sounds like the most arbitrary topic that only GI Joburg can bring you. Honestly, Kuj, when you cooked this one up, I was like, what is he thinking? I mean, just going around the room, what do we actually think as a sort of a knee-jerk reaction to Cobra? Ruthless terrorist organization, typically associated with blue. At a push, they can be associated with red and white and purple and black. But when you add green into the mix, sounds a lot like a faction swap. Rob, does it offend you?
Well, I mean, as we're going around the room, I don't find it offensive at all. There are some, there's some good figures I think that are green within Cobra, and the color can't. I mean, snakes are green.
Paul, you got to be with me on this one, brother.
Dude, I feel some of the best like Cobra toys are green.
Oh, he agrees.
But I do hear you on how it stands out. But I don't know, for me, like maybe it's just a 90s thing, but I never really associated Cobra with blue. Maybe that's just because of when we got GI Joes, So maybe I'm more open to the green and black and ready to attack kind of perspective on things. So
you've got a point there. By the time we came into Joe, Cobra was any color but straight up blue.
Yeah.
True.
That is the question. What is a green cobra? It occurred to me just to always an excuse to chat with you, gents, but also 420 is a number, and it'll visit us on this occasion. And also, GI Joburg has a varying degree relationship with cannabis. So if you're among us and cannabis folk, we will drop some knowledge along the way. It's a pleasure to have you with us. And thank you for asking. It was a cherry lime gelato sativa, so I should be sharp. Is there anything else we should chat up before we start with some green cobras, my gents?
What is the connection between Cobra and Vitamin Green?
Is that rhetorical?
No, I'm legit, man.
Well, at least it's a rare figure. I will answer the question by the end of 420. Sound good?
I'll hold you to it.
Okay. Paul, any thoughts before we go to green cobras?
Other than the fact that we've had some very cool looking announcements in the land of GI Joe announcements, toys wise, there's some other characters coming out, but there's an Iron Grenadier's Destro and the spoiler that is looking really cool. And I just want to throw out that I am very excited. I know that there's a lot of IG lovers that listen to us, so I'm sure you guys have already rocked your pre-orders for it. So I think that's the only like kind of big kind of news at the moment. Otherwise, things are like proper chilled. See, Steve's got his the spoiler out in full view right now.
As a fan of this particular look of Destro, Paul, does it not offend you that he has very symmetrical legs in the classified series? Yeah,
I wouldn't go as far as to say offend me, but I do find it I do find it a bit safe.
Yeah, I suppose.
Yeah.
I mean, the
Also,
weird thing with I mean, it's such a weird swashbuckly touch to the old 1988 version is the fact that he's got his one boot cuff rolled down.
yeah.
There's a
Like,
bit of storyline that's happening here.
Hmm.
I think he's come from the parade and has had to had to be called to arms, basically. Maybe Castle Destro is under attack when everyone's on parade, and he has rolled down his one boot cuff to put his pistol holster on.
Could be
Yeah.
a flask.
could be. It could also just be a bit of flair. You know, like
He likes to be
Destro with
asymmetrical.
flair. I
yeah.
don't know, man.
No, I mean, like,
And Destro, no ways.
I'm gonna make an interesting comparison here, but like, you know, in Ghostbusters with I mean, you know, everybody knows who the Ghostbusters are, but if you look at Venkman, right? If you look at Peter Venkman's coveralls, we call them overalls. He's the only one who has his coveralls rolled out. Like he doesn't tuck his coveralls into his boot, and that speaks to him being a little bit slobbish, but also speaks to him having a bit of swagger. And I think that's kind of Destro's vibe there. Is that, you know, he just wants to have a little bit of swagger, a little bit of that, you know, that, I don't know.
It's
There's
actually
something.
a separate. It's like a spat, actually.
Yeah.
I mean, you're gonna get me in the comments for getting this wrong. He hasn't rolled down anything. He's actually just put an extra kind of sleeve over his left boot.
Yeah, maybe it's that. Yeah, it's a very cool little figure. I love its 1970s
The
vibes.
Jack Sparrow
original.
Destro.
The original's got like a, yeah, but it has got a bit of a pirate vibe to it. The new one, and we don't have a picture for our viewing audience, but
Imagine it.
Only green cobras, guys.
yeah, well, that's the thing. So we got to get the non-green Cobras out the way quickly. But the classified version does have a very modernized, kind of polished off look, and I am very excited to see what the actual sculpt looks like. So I'm looking forward to that reveal, because there is something funny with the waist going on with the mid torso. That has me a little bit, I don't want to say worried. It might just be an optical illusion because of the way it's being presented, that it looks a bit funny. But
3D renders are awful.
Mm.
Like, I'm sorry, we're in this era where like we never get our first taste of a figure as the physical figure itself.
Or as an artwork, at least, you know.
And,
Like,
yeah.
Years.
Damn.
go, because the render on, I don't know what it is, but he just seems to have lost weight, you know. Actually, let me be more accurate. He's lost. It feels like he's lost some muscle mass, in that classified version, and it's weird. That's why I'm saying it could be an optical illusion, because everything else is pretty rad. Also, his shield, that's a very interesting touch. Like, I laugh because it's ostentatious as all hell, but it's Destro, so, you know,
That's
there is
who
that.
he is, you know.
And I'm sure that, like, I haven't seen any turnarounds or underneath shots of the despoiler itself, but I wonder if they've put a nod to the fact that it could connect to a demon, because that would be interesting. Like, they'll never do a
They've
demon.
certainly future-proofed this line. I'm sure there's a demon attachment point just to send us all into a bit of a fervor.
Yeah.
That's what's coming next, guys.
But
So,
even if they never do a demon, and I don't know if they ever will, it is a cool Easter egg, if it's there. So, you know, there's that. But yeah, like, I know maybe in my voice it doesn't sound like I'm like that excited about it, but I'm genuinely quite excited to see that is one of the new figures coming. And also, I just want to do a bit of a shout out to Snowcat, who also, he posed a question on Insta about the Techno Viper, the retro carded Techno Viper, and, you know, just to sort of summarize, his was
Also not green.
exactly, but a good complementary to green. It does happen to be purple, and, you know, he did kind of posit a question of, is the retro version different enough or interesting enough to own versus the original? Because they haven't done, from what I've seen on the pictures of it, they haven't done any new sculpting to it. It's literally just a color swap. and it is cool that it's got its original color, because I do love that original color. But they kind of knocked it out of the park with the classified, with the original version to begin with. So I do understand where that's coming from. So guys, if you have any thoughts on that, shoot them off on your keyboard. Let us know in the comments. I'm curious to hear where you guys are coming from with the Techno Viper. If you're excited about the retro card re-release, and I'm sure there's a lot of you guys out there who are very excited about the Wild Bull, who is looking pretty much the same, but with, I think, a nicer belt. But hey, so throwing that out there. But
Hey, belts matter.
The small things, the small improvements.
yeah, it's those little tweaks. I always loathe to call them improvements, because it makes us sound like a bunch of old fuddy-duddies who don't enjoy changes. Because to be quite fair, the Wild Bull that came with the Dragonfly, I think, is a really great design. But I think the retro is a fantastic callback to the original figure.
Yeah, and they have to. I mean, if you that figure is the main, the release, the actual one that they released. I mean, you can't just get that in the HasLab.
Yeah.
Dragonfly. So of course I suppose they'd want to change it up, because it can't be exactly the same.
No, it can't be. It definitely can't be. But it is cool that it's out there for all of you Wild Bull fans who didn't want to own a Dragonfly, or maybe you own a Dragonfly and you weren't happy with the over modernization of the Wild Bull. Well, you're finally getting a retro.
Still
card.
had more money left over. But sometimes to get to the good greens, you got to pull out the little bits of bark before getting into the deep of the thick of it. So
very true. We're definitely not here to talk Destro, though. Respect to his cousin, whom I think wears green.
Either that or the skin.
Dark Lawn, how dare I forget? In case you have forgotten, call me codename Cujo, the occult specialist, but secondary specialty, cannabis. Why not? Why not? And we're talking some green Cobras. Any other business before we get down to our current intel?
Just, do you want me to throw up those pictures so long?
Damn, man, do it with some theater. Yeah, sure. Let's start with Copperhead. Ideally, Copperhead, as you know, I'll start chatting them up as soon as we go with the AT4 version.
Yeah, as soon as my pictures decide to, how we prepare them before we do this, and then when we actually have to do it, the computer goes, I got another plan.
It's great to know that it started out in 84. That's where we got our first.
Mm-hmm.
We got our first green.
Cobra did break green in 84. Cobra's original tough guy, probably the only guy that can hang with heavy duty. There's those among us that love him. I did early. The barrel-chested bastard, a gambler. Let's go. I know you gents chat a lot of these figures on the regular. Let's go one or two sentences before we rate. You know what? I forgot to give us the rating system.
Dun, dun, dun.
When talking green Cobras, we have 3 ratings. 0 points for no thank you, I'm a square, I don't partake. So anything like that means you don't need this figure. You don't like it.
Okay, Judgy McJudgeson.
Yeah.
Gee.
1 point if you'll vape this figure. You're going to sneak off to the Cobra restroom and hit the vape, 2 points. 2 points if you were going to clean the Cobra bunker, but you got high. And 3 points for the hydro sled got a flat tire. So to begin with Copperhead, we have a legend in the frame with this picture, Mate Malar. All these pictures, all this intel is sourced from Joe Community off X. Of course, I salute gentlemen and ladies. It's always a pleasure to be on the timeline. Your thoughts on, let's start with you, Stephen. Art thou a Copperhead fan?
I'm going to offend some of my nearest and dearest GI Joburg friends by saying I am not and have never been.
Wow.
And I don't know if I've yet to cross over into being a real fan of the guy. he's too early to have really been on my radar as a childhood toy. And kind of overshadowed by the vehicle he comes with when I discovered it later on in life. The water moccasin is amazing.
Superb.
An amazing toy.
But
Paul, do you have
what's
any
your
other
impression
pictures
of
of
the man?
Copperhead? I think we had 3 to cycle through.
We do. I've got this one. Hold on. I don't want to like spoil too many. Hold on.
No, definitely not.
But
do you want my score right now? Because I'll be unkind and give him the doesn't partake.
Oh,
Is it the armbands that throw you ultimately? The low cut? What are you thinking?
I just think like I came up in a time where an action figure's chest was better sculpted than that. I find that immediately quite a strange looking tank top. It's got it does have that square cut. It's fashion wise he's weird. The helmet I don't
He's out
mind
there.
so much, but he's got that typical of like early Cobra, quite like dull eyes. Like he's a little bit. You know what? He's probably partaking right about now. I mean, there's shit all else to do in the jungle. While you're manning your boats,
You're not
waiting
wrong.
for the Cobra getaway.
He's definitely protecting a grow. Before we get to you, Robert, I will say that this is a. Oh, go back to that one, please. This is a custom from J. Antonio Nunya, aka the Bearded Sumo. I salute this sculpt. You know what? This is way better than one of those V cuts in the stomach or whatever they call it. Your thoughts on this custom? Does this elevate the figure for you?
From the
Me
neck,
personally, very Transformer helmet. Don't like the long snouts, but that's more realistic, I guess. If it has some, like it's way too teched out. He does fantastic work, this customizer, but I guess I just don't like the interpretation. That much.
Also, always gives love on the timeline. We see you. Thank you, brother.
sorry.
We're not there yet. Not
You know what?
there yet.
I think I might flip flop. It occurs to me that like guys who do like wet bike racing, they start sort of wearing a sort of an armored carapace, just like that figure did.
Yeah,
So
he's
maybe
kind
this
of
was
moved
sense.
forward with the times. He was kind of like free in the 80s, kind of just like wife beating around. But now he's kind of, he's kind of modernized his look.
Yeah, Rob, go ahead and give your opinion, and then we'll profile this current intel.
I think it's a fun figure overall. I mean, I appreciate that he comes with a vehicle, but I mean, he could be great fun on his own too. Just a nice guy. I mean, so we rating out of 5, right? 5.
It's 1 to 3 points. 3 being you're higher than Raptor's tax deductions.
I'd probably give him a 2. I think he really does rock the green, and it's great that he is one of the earlier figures in the line. We kind of introducing the green very early.
This is the 84 version, which Man in a Bubble, if I recall, has kitted out with some nice accessories. Paul, your thoughts on Copperhead?
Copperhead sits on a 2 for me because while I don't love the figure, I have always appreciated the head sculpt and thought it was very well done. It's great that you got a Cobra with a helmet on and a bit of face that doesn't have a massive head, which was something that plagued certain figures in the line. But so Copperhead's always been like quite reserved in that respect, like quite a modest toy. But Steve mentioned one of our nearest and dearest, from the Berg Force, from the GI Joburg fans, and I did a sketch of Copperhead for him. You know who I'm talking about. Well, I'm talking about you if you're listening, and you probably are. And that has endeared me to the character quite a bit more because Copperhead's actually quite a lot of fun to draw, and has quite a lot of character, and it's kind of elevated the character for me. I don't know if I'm gonna run out and get myself like 50 versions of this toy, but it's good enough to sit in 2 so far.
And you said you were gonna clean the Cobra hydrofoil, so you give him 2 points. Rob gives him 1 point. Steven is a square. Got it. Let's go to I do have one bit for an extra point, some Copperhead trivia. Is the Python Patrol Copperhead crotch the most garish crotch in the original 3 3/4 inch line? You can earn a point if I like your answer. And if not, a more garish crotch.
I'm gonna quote a friend who might actually be in attendance right now. That he just got like banana panty. And
Banana hammock.
to quote this friend, it might be plantain if the water's cold.
Touche. Any other words on the hideousness?
They just can't get it right a lot of the time with the Python Patrol figures. I think they had
Nice zoom.
no good like concept that they wanted there, as opposed to Tiger Force. So yeah, not a big fan of the yellow
Python Patrol.
Yeah,
Steven gets 1 point.
No, I said
Open your
I got you. We got you. Kick him off. Throw him off the plane, guys. Throw him off the hydrofoil. 1 point for Steven, 1 point for Rob, 2 points for Deadly Pencils. Let's go to Crocmaster, if you will, Maestro.
Okay, cool. Let me just get away from Pants Master over here.
Oh, you seem upset.
Nice. Hey, we appreciate it.
Crocmaster.
Okay. I only have one piece of intel of Crocmaster. From 87, the Cobra reptile trainer, as you know, and I do know I'm in a room full of folks who enjoy the freaks. So, GI Joburg rewards those that play. And we got at GI Joe Guy 84, aka Conrad Hauser, if you know, taking his classified out to the swamp. I guess we can talk some ratings. Let's start with you this time, Paul.
Oh, dude, Crocmaster. So what's the highest score we got? 3.
3.
Yeah.
You're tripping in the back of a truck, the jazz music playing.
Well, something. Oh, sorry, I've only got one picture of Crocmaster apparently. Yeah,
it is. It's all the intel we could source.
Crocmaster is just badass, dude. Like, and yeah, we got the classified figure on the pictures now, which is one of the classifieds I absolutely had to own because his crocodile is like supremely cool, and I feel like the classified really just has really elevated the sculpt. In fact, every version, the modern era version of him, or the 50th anniversary, should I say, version, Pursuit of Cobra version of him was amazing, and so is the original. Crocmaster's great, dude, and there's so much mystery. He's like, it's like, who is he? What is he?
Bane.
Yes. No one listened to me before I had the mask. That's also Pennywise with a mask.
They talk too much about that guy. Robert, your thoughts? So now we have Paul at 5 points. Robert, how are you feeling about the reptile trainer?
I've always liked this guy. The green once again is really well represented. I always just like this figure. Like there's a strength about him, and kind of like a savagery. In that, like he's not so much like into Cobra for Cobra. He's more into it because it gives him a chance to kind of like do stuff with his crocs in a battle situation.
Mm-hmm. Also a flamboyant crotch. You got to give it to him.
Yeah.
Steven.
Cujo, I think Crocmaster deserves a 3 out of 3.
Wow.
There you go.
All the way to the top, my friend. Can't get any higher. Ironically, it was the figure that was the biggest detractor on the bubble was the croc. And I feel like clearly the classified version has leveled up. I mean, their animals are one of the biggest draws to the line. Like, they're just a superb zoo being developed by those guys. And I'm forgetting the name of this croc, but she good one.
Yeah, I can't
Lita?
remember it either.
No.
Something like
Jane?
it's a lady's name, but I have no idea either. I'm sure somebody's
Yeah.
like screaming at us and writing it in the
Well said,
comments.
well said.
And when
please
played
keep it
like
short.
Bane, like a spooky, really strong adversary of the swamps. Not that Bane is necessarily a swamp dweller, but he trades heavily on that look. Like the more you play him like that kind of threat, the better. I don't know if I like leaning into the fact that he's got a crocodile army. I think that's just like those are his pets, but the real threat is Crocmaster himself. Which is why like he needed more stuff. Like a big old blade, not just a whip.
Hey, let's not get greedy. I do have one piece of trivia before Crocmaster, but I do agree with those words, and I'm not going to repeat them. The original Croc was the only thing I would detract. For an extra point, we have here. Yes, on Crocmaster's file card, it says in his leisure time he enjoys doing this. Does anybody have that answer on hand?
Oof. I'm gonna say he enjoys like fried chicken. I don't know.
I think he enjoys evenings writing poetry to his dead mother after the camp counselors killed her.
It can't say
Jesus.
that on the file card.
Listening to Linkin Park, no doubt. Steven, any thoughts?
Man, I wish I had the sort of photographic memory that would allow me instant recall of the exact wording. But somewhere between dreaming green dreams and lying in sort of 2-inch deep water, I forget the exact measurement. Just like, I don't know, making like grinding his teeth. Was it grinding his teeth?
At least on the file card I read, it says he enjoys bubbling the chronic. So close, but no. Moving right along to our intel on night vipers.
None of us got it.
If you would.
None of us have night viper. Like
some of these picks made it in, guys. This is the internet. This is what happens. Let's see. Who do we have here with our first pick of the night viper? This would be Toy Hunter's Hollow. I thought it was a nice pose. Not everybody can rep a pose. We see you on the timeline, Toy Hollows. I think I know how you guys break on the night viper. Pretty much Cobra royalty to most. Let's start with you, Steven. A sentence or two about the night viper, and of course your rating.
One of the greatest sculpts ever produced, and the best color schemes. Accessories are a little bit confusing though.
Wow, that's
touche.
Confusion. You give me the confusion, but yeah, one of the best. So glad he came out in '89. You know, the best year of GI Joe.
Oh, thank you for spotting that year. Good man. I think we may have just a bit more intel, possibly, on the Night Viper.
I think we have one more pick. Let's see.
If we
yes, we do. Yeah.
Oh, a pick from honestly one of the coolest in the community, a boss, and he captured a shot of the Night Viper in action. I would draw your attention to a Black Major custom behind him, the Snake Eyes Hunter, one of the cooler Black Major figures.
Oof! It really, I mean, it looks great in green, but the sculpt kind of transcends color, I think.
I agree. Yeah.
Rob, what number are you putting on Night Viper?
Absolutely, giving it a 3. Probably, yeah. Okay. Also, one of the figures I've always wanted and felt I needed.
Hang on, the scale was out of 4, right?
No, it's out of 3, son.
It's out of 3. 0 to 3.
0, 2, 3. So you can go 0 to 3. So it is 4 numbers.
Yeah. I was thinking of the descriptions. Anyway, so that's a 3 for Raul.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, and if we can't keep track because it's 420, please keep us in line in the comments. Paul, what would you say? What number would you put on this
Night Viper, the tight sniper? Also a tight wiper? No, 3 out of 3, man. Night Vipers are beautiful.
You and Crystal Ball are hitting the volcano bong. Good job.
No, he's he might even be a night vapor. I don't know, but he's definitely getting
Oh,
3.
well done.
So-
Well done.
Well, he's
Yeah.
got that big
Hey,
old thing on his noggin.
Yeah, he's turned that into a bong at some point, I'm sure.
it's true.
Probably could.
It's true. I can't
Everything's
say
a
I
bong.
love the under helmet. It's a little Darth Vader light.
Mm.
That's going on there. I don't know. Probably in the minority. Next, please. Well done.
Dun, dun,
Well done,
dun.
Snow Leopard. We appreciate you.
Oh, there's even more. There's even more.
Oh,
Like
there's one more, guys. There's one more. A lot of intel because why not? Doc Sewage, Man of Plastic, got this shot. And I want to say that he rocks the Joe a Day hashtag. We appreciate you, Doc. These are incredible shots. Well done.
also, what's Snake Eyes doing in the light like that? Shh. He's not gonna get a ninja award.
He's
For that.
showing off that bright gun
What
of his.
are these guys popping up for? No, they like.
No.
Could-
That
just so
we're
you know, for
ready.
some reason, the image order on these just doesn't want to stay in alphabetical. So the nice numbering system that you gave me is just throwing out. It's just throwing
It's all
itself out the
gravy,
window.
brother. But we are ready for those tasty headhunters.
Are we ready for the headhunters? Are they next?
They are.
I feel like there's even more night vipers. Sorry, like we've got another night
That's
viper.
for later in the line, brother.
Okay, well there we go. There's a bit of a preview for those of you guys out there. You can look forward to that part of the
Just
episode.
an appetizer.
Headhunters, yes.
1993, we have one of the community legends in the frame, and that would be Forgotten Figures capturing the headhunters. You know what? It's a little bit. I don't know about the green qualifications on this one, but I couldn't leave these guys off the list. It's an opportunity to do some real headhunting, if you will, and make a serious and/or introspective / reflective comment on cannabis within maybe the South African culture, maybe what you've encountered in Australia, and I'll give my thoughts stateside. Just a couple sentences. Let's start with you, Stephen. Cannabis and its relationship with the world.
You're either in a country that legalizes it, or you're in a country that criminalizes it.
What? Or a country that's moving towards legalizing.
No guesses for the answer of which kind of country I'd rather be in.
Prison.
In Singapore, yeah, sure. Jeez,
Is
those
it
guys-
legal in South Africa?
No, very much
Yes,
so.
The most marked difference in pre-COVID South Africa, or Cape Town specifically, and post-COVID, like how after coming back from Australia from the last 7 years, there are so many cannabis shops.
Yeah, you can't throw a rock without hitting one, dude.
Wow, it's exploded.
Yeah, and also
Yeah.
the price, I think, it varies dramatically depending on the neighborhood that you'll find that cannabis shop
Mm-hmm.
as well.
Concur.
There's lots of
Would you say it's elevated the communities it's in, or?
I think it's definitely made it more of a cleaner product. What I mean by that is I think there's a lot of people who avoided cannabis and weed and all that stuff because they felt it was dirty. And I think there's a lot of people that are enjoying cannabis and weed because of how it's been packaged. And it's thanks to these kind of businesses, and it's thanks to it being legalized.
Yeah, sometimes you need to see it kind of like on a shelf, at a mom and pop shop to kind of like feel this stuff is kind of okay. It's something I can choose and choose not to.
But I mean, but also Rob and Steve, this one's for you as well, guys. I mean, in Cape Town, I'm sure that when you went to like flea markets and whatever's in Cape Town, you saw there's always like one or two fairly biggish stands that were selling like tie-dye shirts with like weed prints on them, and then they just had every single bong under the sun.
No, for sure. I mean, also, in my own family, I've had at least one family member who, I've always known him as someone who's,
Partakes.
Yeah, very, very much so. And then years later, another one of my family members as well. So it is interesting to kind of like see what different people, I suppose, gravitate towards, like what helps them manage stuff.
Yeah, and we see it in conventions now as well, in the convention
no,
spaces.
It is big, yeah.
Yeah, gummies and all kinds of stuff.
the cannabis tax that goes towards helping the city, the roads, all that? That's what they say.
Welcome to Africa, baby. That cannabis tax goes in the back pocket.
Yeah,
hope it goes
that's probably what happened stateside as well.
So,
How
Cooch,
is it taxed? I have no idea. Does
I
it
was going
fall
to
in-
say they regard it as a medical product. So
Mhm.
when you go and buy it here in South Africa from a store, what happens is you have to get a membership with that store. Otherwise, they can't sell it to you over the counter. You have to be a
Okay.
card-carrying member because
Okay, Paul.
it's members only. And so that sort of sidelines the whole thing. So I think, I don't know, I think there's something wonky going on with their finances there.
Green Cobras only. I would say this stateside. I found cannabis in my late 30s. I think it's definitely something that can be explored after you got your marbles, after they're matured. I couldn't say otherwise. I have encountered some folks in Africa up the coast from you in Ghana. A good man, Cobra Tete Torsu. I did a small series on my YouTube channel with him. He said that he was introduced to cannabis through the African temples and stuff, kind of like priests or those kind of folks laid it out. That's probably a healthier culture. I will close by saying this. Do I enjoy it? Sure. Do I view it as medicine? No. I view it as being able to push the world away, being able to think inside of, wherever you might be. But yeah, I would say I'm still on that journey. And if you're out there, there's some green cobras. I'll mention one name before we move on to our next character, Mike Vegas. I didn't go fishing for any pics, but he's always on the timeline. A cat that lives down the highway a couple hours. We've shared some green cobras along the way. He's a good dude, solid dude. So I salute you, Vegas. And let's get on to our next character. Ooh, one more thing about cannabis community. If you're out there, organize your community board. A lot of people come through that shop. It's an untapped community. And hey, if we unify, they can't stop us. They've been trying to stop us forever, guys. They can't do it. Undefeated. Next figure is...
So none of us are rating the headhunter. We're just like, no.
Oh, yeah.
He's an excuse to talk. I'd probably give it a 1. It's a bit much.
You're sneaking off to the watchtower with the vape. I got you.
Yeah, he's getting a little bit out of me, but he's staying near the ground.
Steven.
Nah, I hate these guys. 0. They're not even cobras. I thought this was green cobras.
Proximity, y'all. Proximity. I couldn't leave them out. It's their business, y'all.
Yeah, but it's their second version that has the green.
True. Hey,
Yeah,
it was fringe. Fringe.
I've got to give these guys some points. I'll give them 1. Just because I love their Prince, artist formerly known as Symbol, kind of support dancer look to their outfits. I've always been a big fan of that, and I think these guys would look so cool next to Destro, actually, or as pictured here with Major Blood, with Rock and Roll Future Major Blood, one of my favorite Major Bloods, by the way. So yeah, I'm gonna give them a solid 1.
Well done, Forgotten Figures. Nobody wants to be kicked with those neon green boots, Steven. Come on now.
Yeah, come on, Steven.
Shadow Tracker, if you will.
Yeah.
Yes. Our first pick comes from David Makes Time. David, if you make time, GI Joburg's got your back. I guess let's see what intel I have on him. 2011 release from Pursuit of Cobra. Yep. And he loves Steven. Your thoughts on Shadow Tracker?
Hey, it's an interesting toy to look at now, because the best version in our scale is from that modern era. Ah, man, that secondary just looks way too big. But I always longed for a Predator figure in my GI Joe play.
You're not wrong.
Shadow Tracker. The closest we've got to that.
Any points? What's your points?
Oh God. I'll give him middle of the road. He can get a 2.
Ooh. All right. All right.
Surfing those waves.
Hanging out in the Cobra bunker. We got you.
Yeah, dude, Shadow Tracker is one of the coolest things well, it was one of the best things that Pursuit of Cobra gave us in terms of an original character. And I dig that he's had a classified figure of him made as well, which is pretty cool. But like, what does he score? Like Shadow Tracker in general, I'm the same as Steve in this regard. I think a 2. I do, yeah. Looking back, his vest does look a little big here. But I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think he has a tattoo on his back as well. If I could be completely mistaken, but I remember there was a bit of no, I've seen it often. I just haven't seen it with the vest off in a while. But I feel like there was an Easter egg to this guy. I could be completely wrong, but hey, we needed him. We needed this Predator kind of figure, and I've always envisioned him as a bit of a trainer for the Range Vipers, or a leader of the Range Vipers, like their sort of dude that, you know. And yeah, like Cujo, for the record, I think Shadow Tracker does a lot of blood. I think he smokes a lot of weed.
I would agree with that. And you know what? We'll visit his file card in a second. There should be one more version of him classified. It's a low-key pick. Good luck hunting. Yeah, it's kind of it's a range. There you go.
Oh, is it a range viper?
Eagle
This one?
eyes. No, that one. That's the one. This is a custom from our good man Dustin Cordish, aka Misanthropic Git on the X Machine. But this came up when I was looking at Shadow Trackers. This is one of his customs. Also a host on our annual chat about veterans in 1111. So I salute Dustin and of course our good man They Gone. Cheers, guys. Any thoughts on this particular version of Shadow Tracker, and or your thoughts, Robert?
This would draw me in a bit more, I think. I like that there's more of a connection to the Range Vipers. It kind of draws that parallel a lot easier. I like this version. It's a nice mix of green and orange.
I think that this figure that this custom feels like a forgotten figure. Like somehow they re-released the Range Viper and called him Shadow Tracker sometime in the 90s, and we all just missed it. You know, yeah, I dig that vibe about this custom. I know that's not about the custom, but I do dig the custom design here. It's just like this creepy forgotten figure. I think I would have totally gone for that when I was younger as well. Just saying.
Do you have a rating for us, Robert?
For Shadow Tracker, I'd probably also go down the dome. Actually, I'm going to go down to 1. I think it's interesting, but he kind of feels to me at least derivative of a character like Spirit. You know, we already have like a bow dude.
Zartan.
I don't know. Zartan too. There we go. I mean, there's even guys on the Cobra side that can kind of replace him. But if he has an interesting story, I think then he definitely should be around. Figure-wise, naff.
Got 2 for the Cobra bunker, and Robert sneaking off to the Cobra restroom with the vape. Got it.
Robot
dick. We do have an extra point for trivia on this one. The last sentence on Shadow Tracker's file card. Any takers?
Vehicles and other figures sold separately.
Name Shadow Tracker does not identify any living person.
Someone in the comments knows, and they're typing it right now, and thank you for that. But of course, the last sentence is, if it's green, I can smoke it. So he's definitely here for 420. We salute Shadow Tracker.
Yeah, sorry, man. I couldn't resist because the file cards on those pursuits were so scant. It was ridiculous. Like
the actual real last sentence. Go digging. Go digging. Yeah.
The actual real last sentence. No, you can't leave me hanging. What is it?
If I think if it bleeds, I can kill it. It's very Predator. Yeah.
Just not. We needed more.
You know, our last green Cobra, very little known. I believe we just have one shot for intel, oddly enough.
This one.
And that would be the Crimson Asp, one of the few ladies of Cobra. We have some miniature expertise from our good man C. Norman, who's done many miniature figures for the timeline along the way. I see you. We appreciate those. Also, AKA Here Be Wonder. I have to agree. Stephen, let's start with you. Little is known about Crimson Asp. How are you feeling about this green Cobra?
What I gleaned from her file card, she's an Irish lass, bomb exports, saboteur, lost her eye in some kind of explosion,
Probably IRA
and has become embittered and driven by greed and terror and all the bad things ever since.
And she hates beauty, or it's, you know, beauty in the eye of the beholder. She hates it. She smushes it all up.
The only problem I have with this figure is, she didn't have a vintage counterpart. Because the convention one, boy oh boy, you're forking over many hundreds of dollars.
You're talking 2013's collector's convention set, if I recall. Nocturnal Fury. We
Very
might have
good.
some trivia about that.
That is a hell of a
That's
shot.
my code name as well, if I've had enough genes.
I think the figure's fantastic. I think the design is fantastic. I think the use of Baroness parts incredible, because what better way to hide all black parts than by dressing them in 2 shades of green, like a forest and a toxic Lumo green. No, she's awesome. Awesome appearance. Could stand to see more of her. I'm going to give her a 2.
2.
Ooh, okay.
Good 2.
Back in the bunker. What you thinking, Paul?
I really hate that she's called Crimson Asp when she's dressed in green. Because it's stupid. like
it's her hair color, mate.
I know. It's just, I mean, at least that's what I've forced myself to, into understanding. But I really hate that. I think it would have been fine to have just made her crimson, but oh wait, you can't, because there's a crimson version of the Baroness. But, and also her whole origin thing, she's basically the Baroness. She's just in Ireland. It's and not wealthy. Like, for me, Viper. See, I want to call her Viper. Like, that's I think visually though, I think the idea of her is pretty cool, but I don't know. I've just never clicked with this character. I've never clicked with Crimson Asp. I've always found it to be some kind of imposter in GI Joe. I don't know. She's just never been brought in a way that I've appreciated or respected. And it's sad because she's basically while Steve highlights some of the positives of, enhancing Baroness's sculpt, using the green whatever to create color separation. While that is a very cool thing, it's always sad when a toy or when a figure or when a character is introduced and it's literally just a recolor of another sculpt. So yeah, but
she looks so good. She may be a derivative, but somehow she just smashes the green. It just comes out so well.
Yeah.
This pick courtesy of General's Joe's, if you are watching the video.
Ooh, we're gonna revisit them in a minute.
Oh, Steve, also share some pictures now. It's got a better shot there.
So what's your rating on this one, Paul?
Yeah, 0.
0.
Wow, the coloring thing really throws you off.
Not partake.
No, it's just it's the imposter syndrome of it actually, or the imposter quality of her. I can't stand it. It's like
let's not rush the judgment.
I hate that.
Robert, any thoughts?
I quite like her. I think, as I said, I mean, she may be derivative of Baroness, but I think overall it's a great sculpt. It's a wonderfully made figure.
Hang on, it's not even Baroness. I've been thrown off by the waist. It's actually Helix.
Even better, because
Helix
was so well made.
Well, in this miniature, it's a Baroness.
Helix's legs and Baroness's upper. Oh, okay, brilliant.
I'm also giving it a 2. I think this is probably one of the best representations of a good all green color scheme, other than Night Viper.
It's a busy bunker, guys. All right, we do have 2 bonus trivia on this one. If Crimson Asp came with an asp, what color should that asp be? Steve, you first.
No, I got nothing, man. I was never good at riddles or punchlines for that matter.
Mm.
That's
So
a whole
you're
lot
not
of
looking for an asp in any color than blue?
I especially do not look for an asp. Yeah, that's colored blue.
You don't like that?
What are we
I
talking
don't
about?
Or Robert, what say you?
Well, whatever color it is, I hope it's a big vehicle. You know,
That's an
I want to
asp.
be able to like
guys.
rest my head on it. You know, it's so comfy.
Paul, your thoughts?
I'm just laughing at Rob. Hold on.
We've evolved into chaos, ladies and gentlemen.
It was intense.
Dude, I just, let the gaslighting continue. I would like her to have a purple asp because whatever,
Now we know what Paul likes.
Festive.
like if we call it a crimson asp and it's red, I feel like we would actually just be disappointing the gaslighting nature of the character in the first place. So
Mm.
yeah.
Okay. Well, obviously the correct answer was black, so the stinger can have a black asp toe, guys. All right.
Hey.
Bonus trivia. This is directly from Crimson Asp's file card. It claims she only has one true love. What is it?
She loves beauty. I
Dark
think.
Lawn.
Dark. Nah.
Her dad, Coils of Doom.
Guys, she's in love with Mary Jane.
As she should be.
We do have a few rare greens left in the stack, don't we, Paul?
I believe we do. We have this cutie
Okay,
over
we're
here.
jumping right into it. Hey, Forgotten Figures stays in the picture with Black Major's 2022 Wraith Viper.
I want this. This is cool.
I was going to ask, does this figure rate with you? It might be one of the cooler skull characters.
Yeah, no, this works very well with me. Like, is that meant to be like a take on the classified Rat Vipers?
No, this picture is from like 2022.
Interesting. No, I mean, like, no, but like, level with me, seriously, like, because, like, this feels very much like a cool retro or a cool vintage take on the sort of, Ghost Vipers or whatever that are coming out now in classified. I do dig this. This is a lot of fun for me. At first, though, I must be honest, the goggles should be all black because when I first saw it, they read to me as a cute little Hello Kitty bow tie thing.
Little cute bows on his head, but it's just deceptive.
Yeah.
You see the skull, you feel danger. You see the bow, you feel calmer. It's meant to mess with you.
For anyone listening along and scratching their heads, we are looking at a Viper that's colored with, I think, glow-in-the-dark greens.
Even better.
The skull overlaid over the Viper's viewplate. It's all in black except for these green highlights. And this is Black Major, Red Laser, one of them.
It's Black Major, the second Black Major we've mentioned. And if you're just listening to GI Joburg, you don't deserve that description. Shame on you.
What?
Does it glow in the dark?
It might.
It
might.
needs to. I think this is.
If
I
it
want to
does,
zoom
it-
in here. This guy is.
That's a travesty.
This is so much fun, man. I love this. Black Major stuff always gets me a little excited.
Yes, I do have a message because I know Black Major is in the lab all the time. I have a proposal when we get to the end of this list, my friends.
Sweet. Yeah. No.
Let's go to our next rare green.
Our next rare green. Okay, hold on.
It should be the. There you go, dude. You're reading my mind. Don't do that.
Operation Flaming Moth.
Let's see. When was this from? First of all, these pics are from one of the deepest in the Joe game, Justin Bell, General Joe's. There's not many pictures of these guys online. So Flaming Moth, Jungle Theater. I want to say a Green Night Viper and what is that?
Frag
Cricket
Viper.
Frag Viper.
Okay, I got you. I think there's one shot. Yep. I had to put the shot up because he took him out to the greenery. Good man.
Those are fun.
These are good variations, I think.
Mm.
Like the Night Viper kind of does blend in better, and it almost feels like he's more of like a daytime version. Like
Mm.
he feels like he blends more into the daylight now. But that Frank Viper is fantastic.
So
And
you
this
broke.
was 2006 convention
Mm.
exclusive. You know, you could make a case for those of you in the comment that enjoyed the Collectors Club along the way. Was this peak? Was Operation Flaming Moth peak? I don't know. You could make a case.
Well, the Frag Viper can definitely draw fire because he's got like the golden things on his side of his head there. The golden vents will draw some attention to him. While these are cool and while it's a fun little take on it, I do feel, and this is generally my argument. The original 13, I'd say the first 2 years of GI Joe, where stuff is more quote unquote natural in terms of its military look, works very, very well for those years and for those sculpts. But not whenever, but a lot of the times when they try to take a sculpt like a Night Viper or a Frag Viper or a Flak Viper or whatever the heck, and try to like make it kind of realistic or very believable, I feel like it loses a lot of its personality. And these guys certainly have lost a lot of their personality. They just look like, I don't know. The Frag Viper doesn't look as fun and as exciting as his original does, which is brown, blue, and silver headed. But that's my take on that.
Well, you're able to make those judgments because Justin Bell. Cheers, brother. We do have one last green pairing. If you can find that one.
Dun.
Yes, this is my favorite green Cobras that I witnessed. This is a Kit Bash and a Black Major from Titus L32. Just one of the many cats that turns up on the timeline, drops awesome stuff. I saw this and there's a hell of a lot of story in these guys. Wouldn't you agree?
The robot arm. Yeah. Sorry,
Yeah,
Steve.
robot arm, the angle. It's interesting they're sharing the frame together. It kind of makes it feel like there's a connection there, not just through the colors, but kind of through the placement together.
Yeah, I think you could dismiss it except for the bat arm, and there is some nice decals there. And honestly, anytime you can use that commando sculpt uniquely, I'm here for it. Not to be redundant, but yeah. That's my final rare green. Titus L32 turning up. Thank you, sir. We appreciate you. Whose legs are those, by the way? Those are some beefy guys.
Cobra, I feel, like there's a lot of like some of the best figures. I mean, yes, the ratings for the figures were kind of all over the place, but they have some strong reasons to say that green is Cobra. Cobra green is maybe maybe not a unifying green, but it's a thing. But we talked about figures. I was hoping if I could. When it comes to vehicles, Cobra is basically devoid of green, except for one division within Cobra, who seem to feature more green vehicles than not.
Here we go.
And that's the Dreadnoks. They have the chameleon as the first thing you see from them as a vehicle. And then 2 years later, they kind of continue that theme with the Dreadnought Swampfire, very, very green vehicle, but they also turn 2 other vehicles into...
With the help of Sears.
With the Dreadnought Ground Assaults, yeah. So you get a green Vamp and you get a green Ram. It's a lot of letters.
And they change color, allegedly.
Apparently, but it's interesting. I mean, do we feel like, is that too much of like a nod towards the Dreadnoks being,
Cobra?
No, I think that's on brand for 420.
So who's
Mm.
been keeping track of the score? Because I'm curious to see who rated as the best. Like,
Well,
that feeling
Points don't
is-
matter.
The points. I mean, they're not.
Well,
I mean-
I do have a prize.
Ah,
Dun-
well,
Before
go for it.
we get there, I would say, of course, Black Major is in GI Joburg. It's about time that we team up on a 4-pack, isn't it? I'm going to leave it at that. It is that season, folks. We do have a prize for all three of you. It turns out that you're all winners. You get to
modern.
head to the GI Joe Forward Observation Hot Tent with Spirit and one other GI Joe for a peace pipe session. In addition to Spirit, who are you going to take in the Forward Observation Hot Tent? Paul, you first.
Oh yeah, no, just ask me. I'm the like Outback, bro.
You know it.
Good man. Good man.
But not just any Outback, Tiger Force Outback. He's gonna be great to sit down and listen to.
Oh, that's some nice context. What
Or shipwreck.
Robert, what's your thoughts? Spirit and who? Busting out the Hobbit pipe. You know what's up.
I think someone who definitely would who would be in there would be Rock and Roll. Like, you know, beach bum guy from California. I feel like there's lines there you can draw.
Sounds about right. Steven, who's going in the Forward Observation Hot Tent?
Freedom, of course.
Of course. Heck yeah.
No, I'm
Freedom
gonna
guys.
slip Storm Shadow in there because I feel like those guys have some interesting philosophical arguments ahead of them. Be very introspective.
Pass the bong, Spirit.
Good stuff. Hey, if you have the GI Joe observational tent out there, hey, now you got another use for it.
Who throws a bong?
Honestly,
punished.
I do have 3 things to exit on the way out, but before we wrap up, any closing thoughts on Green Cobras?
Still not sure. I think Green has a place in Cobra.
You know,
Wow, that's interesting. Yeah, what do you mean? As we go around the table, I feel Green does have a place. It kind of it's there's a through line there that you can kind of pick at. And also sometimes, I mean, we didn't mention them explicitly, but sometimes later versions of figures become more green. Firefly version 2 may not be everyone's favorite, but he is repping green strongly, like very strongly. Like he chose that. That was a choice when he just kind
on
of
purpose.
being a ninja, and he's like, yeah, green.
Or maybe
I'm out, guys.
We did not forget about Mole Rat V2. Of course, he's green as well.
everybody's forgotten about the Jungle Viper.
Dun dun dun.
Yeah.
Anime.
They could have slipped through the cracks. We'll have to wait for 840 before we cover more.
You're gonna have to come back to
Green
it.
Cobras.
I think the use of green is minimal, but it's a good color. Because I mean, as I said at the front, I mean, snakes go green.
Green Mamba.
Yeah.
I will have an observation from the tent on the way out. I do have a couple closers. Does anybody else have anything else going on to timestamp this? Anything going on that they want to chat it up on the way out?
Aside from the really big thing, no. No. I think it's quite good to talk about green cobras right now. The world needs it.
I think, just always join us. You know, always come back again. If you're whenever you're hearing this, thanks. I think every day is an event for us, and hopefully for you too. You know, you're not coming at it from sort of like a festive angle. You know, why leave that behind at Christmas? You can just take it through the whole year round. Just feel that love for
Oh God.
friends
Incredible.
But
Hopefully the vibes are just flowing out of the screen, guys. Let them wash over you.
nah, but Cooch, just like you asked Steven, and you asked if green has a place in Cobra, and yeah, I know I sort of front loaded it in the beginning because I did say some of the best Cobra figures are green.
Yeah.
But I do want to say that green and black as a combination, or bright green, the way it's used in Cobra, is a great bad guy color, and you don't have to look too much further than Transformers to see that, because we got Devastator. It's the only one who comes to mind right now, and but that green is a really cool bad guy color. It can be a good guy and a bad guy color at the same time, and I feel like Cobra really leans into that. Another green Cobra is Cesspool. So
I thought you were gonna bring that up. We hit the bingo card, guys. Everybody gets free tacos. He mentioned.
Yay!
We did it, guys. Nice.
Nah, but it was fun to talk about the green stuff.
Heck yes, guys. It only took 420. I will indulge the mic on the way out. I do have a very controversial video coming out with fellow GI Joe community member Cobra Lang, who's been in some of the backyards. But we're gonna chat some GI Joe AI art. So that could get our seat a little hot. But that's coming up.
What, GI Joe AI generated images?
We're sourcing art. He's explored it. I've looked at it, and we recorded a ponderous chat without conclusion.
Is there a place for it? Yeah, like what is it?
Well, I don't want to spoil it, guys. So that's coming up. That will be a Cobra Lang. That will be on the timeline, so Elon Musk can watch it, of course. So yeah, we got that, and I believe I sent you an image of a comic, brother.
You did. I just didn't want to show it off too early. Let me just scare it up again quickly for
let's
us.
Let that cat out.
Meow. Hey, cool. I see you've also been getting into copics. Well, it looks like you've been getting into markers.
Oh, is it on the screen? I can't see it.
No, not on your screen, but it's on mine. Now it's showing for everybody.
All right. On the personal.
Ooh, crap. Why is it doing that? I love this. There we go. Yeah.
On the personal, I'm just about done with a new indie comic. For those that might be curious, a found footage comic from the view of some Google meta glasses. The last 15 minutes on Earth. So keep your eyes open for that one. I wanted to mention it here where I turn up the most. This is the first time I mentioned it. So hashtag the Springs comic. Keep your eyes open for that. And the kind of the hashtag or the storyline there is don't look back. So maybe it'll hit it at the right time, and we'll see what happens. But I'm working with a local colorist named Ashley.
Cool.
And yeah, it's all local. It's a different model for comics. So stay tuned, local community, and I'll let you know when it's available to order from Lunar. But
nice, huge, very cool.
Thank you. She's doing the markers. So hey, you know, Paul. But yeah, it's unique. I try and keep hands off. But no, she's awesome, and so that's what'll come out for me about mid-year. I had one more thing. Let's see. I think I'm going to end it with community, as I always do. So we can drop the springs. Thank you, Paul.
Let's drop the springs. Boom. Hold on.
Yeah. I'll end with community, as I always do. Some folks like to trivialize. Some folks no. If you're in the Joe community, if you can hear us, thank you. Thank you for being those dudes, those ladies. Whether it be, the Chaplain's Motor Pod, which always turns up. What's on Joe Mind? HCC still in the picture. Cheers, brother. Just all the folks that turn up, and that's the analogy I'll make with being a green Cobra on the way out. You guys were waiting for me to make it about me. Well, here we are. And of course, I'll leave theatrically So if you're a green cobra, then you can exit too. What is a green cobra? It is a contradiction, but it's rare. You may not always see them, but when they enter the room, you know they got style, and everybody knows it. So, Green Cobra Cujo signing out. Guys, I love you. And come what may, I'll always be green, baby.
Boom, 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 guys.
He's gone. He actually just left the studio. Wow.
I thought he was gonna say, "Come what may, what darling buds of
Mary J.
Mary J."
Well, there we go. This has
Sorry,
been a very
Steve.
interesting experience.
This has been a journey, but we've come to the end. Thank you, everyone.
Grab your green
green.
cobras, hold them close, play with them.
Yo, Joe.
Berg. And also thanks to all of our awesome patrons and GI Joburg members who support the channel. And thank you for your like and your subscribe and for, keeping us on your mind. Until the next one, this has been GI Joburg. Say goodbye, guys.
Bye, guys.
guys.
Bye,
Oh,
guys.
thanks for everyone who left to comment on this video. You guys are awesome. I love reading them.
Yes, especially, there was a really good one last time. We'll talk about it in 421. Bye. Out.